If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, I know. Keep coming back for you time after time. Maybe I'm losing.
Yo, what's going on? We're down here in the Rack Studios, Tampa. I got my boy Cole on. I got Mike G in the house. And we're coming on today. Before I get started, let me hit not feel it and say we want to thank Planetary Design for always hooking us up. And definitely, if you haven't checked it out, check out Rack for Mortgage. They'll help you get in the house. If you need to get in the house, hey, man, this is. Just tell them embrace the power sent you. Cole, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, bro. I'm super excited to be on here. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm having a good day going into the new year.
Hey, Mike G, we're going into the new year. How you doing, Mike G?
Man, I can't complain. Cole, welcome to Embrace the Powers. Good to meet you, man. And yeah, let's get this new year started.
Good to meet y'all.
Hey, so Kobe, I'm going to give you a little background real quick, the history thing, and then we're going to get into your platform. So in the 1920s, as America was resetting after World War I, we went into a very, the roaring 20s, and they were stating that men were becoming very feminine. So in the 30s came around, the Great Depression hit, people had to stand up, and there's no more partying, and people actually had to put themselves to blue-collar work, which caused a rise in what we consider today masculinity. Which was great because it carried us into World War II with the guys that had to fight one of the worst wars we ever had. So now in the 21st century, as we look back and we've been through this progression multiple times, and in the 60s, we actually pushed for men to be very athletically fit. As we go into the 21st century, Cole, you've got a platform that you're telling people to get off their butt, to get moving, be it male or female, but you're also targeting and saying that young men need to get off video games and find their purpose. So what made you want to create your platform? And then you can give a little background on yourself also, but go ahead, man.
Yeah, 100%. It's actually very funny that we're talking about this today because I'm not even joking. Around 15 minutes ago, I'm doing my regular morning routine training. I box every day, 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. And me and my boxing coach were literally just talking about this. How if something was to happen in Canada or America, I'm actually Canadian, but I'm always down in the States with you guys, we'd be screwed. And the reason why is because men nowadays are docile, weak, feminine, and not working on themselves. Now, why did I create my platform and why am I so quote unquote aggressive in my delivery around working on yourself, getting off your butt and getting to work? Because I feel like a man who is not capable of violence, a man who is not powerful, strong, and ready for war at any time is not a fucking man. And that's just my mindset. I was taught by my dad that it was a necessity to be violent while being able to control it. I was taught by my family that we were supposed to have power while learning how to control it. Because I don't know about you guys, I do know, let's be real. But like, dude, it's my job to protect my family. I've got 3 statements: protect, provide, and guide. That is my job as my son's father, as my wife's husband, and as my friend's friend. Like, that is my job as a man.
Oh, yeah, put spot on. Well, I did 30 years in the Army and 2 tours, so I definitely understand. And this is the thing is, as you shape the war and you look at it, here's my take, and I'm very brutal about this, is that I've seen the worst of mankind. And I understand, and Jordan Peterson said it, men need to be violent, but they need to control it. Yeah. And there's a lot of context behind that, David Goggins and all the other guys. But the one thing is you talked about, boxing actually used to be part of the curriculum in our school system up until the 1960s. And I really think that boxing needs to come back into the curriculum. We've gotten soft. And so here's the thing is we've kind of allowed feminism to take over, ultra-feminism, not traditional feminism, ultra-feminism to take over. It's kind of helped hurt the male culture. So how are you kind of, framing that to the point of trying to make young men understand that they kind of need to get off video games, but also kind of start doing some personal care? Because mental health for men right now, November Mental Health Month, it's off the chart, Cole. It is off the chart of men committing suicide, which is sad. So go ahead, I'll pause.
Yeah, so first and foremost, it's actually funny that you keep going back to the video games thing because, and I'm going to just tell you guys this because it'll be funny for you guys to go watch. If you look up AMAROK DaSilva, I've actually got a gaming TikTok and gaming Instagram Why? Because I wanted to see how easy it would be to fucking make money with gaming. I've always been into like, let's see if I can make money from these random things. So for like a 6-month stint during the vid, I won't say it all on here because you guys know how the internet is. I was like, let's try this shit. Started streaming, doing a bunch of stuff, started making like $500 to $700 a month. I'm like, everybody just complains too fucking much, man. I'm like, I literally figured it out in 6 months when people have been doing this for like 2 decades and can't get anywhere. But when it comes down to like the work ethic and building it, I think I've actually been doing a bad job at directing men towards a better future, because I've been very generic with my message in the aspect of I think everybody should get off their fucking ass. Everybody should get to fucking work. Everybody should stop making excuses, stop making justifications, stop whining, stop complaining, and just put the damn work in. So recently, and I think it's a perfect time for us to be talking actually, I've actually pivoted my content a little bit to direct men, because I do feel called to it. Ever since I had my son, he just turned a year and a month old. And like the older he's getting, the more that I'm like, holy crap, dude. Like, yeah, I got like a mini dog. I'm gonna have to teach this guy. I was like, I'm gonna have to teach this guy to be me, like to do things that I believe in. So it's definitely pivoted my content, and I feel called to do it because there's enough people not doing it.
Right.
Like when you're in the area of social media, it seems like everybody in the world is talking about how to work on your body and work on your life and work on your fitness and work on your business, because we are in the world. But when you zoom the fuck out, there's 8 billion people on this planet. There's not enough people doing what we're doing. There's not enough people challenging individuals' mindsets and bodies and lives. So the reason why I'm so gung-ho to create content and get into people's faces and, for lack of a better term, piss them off into greatness is because I feel like it's a necessity in order for our world to become better.
Oh, no. So I'm going to touch on it. So I went and looked at one of your posts, and I saw the haters, right? I read the people that were supporting you, dude, and I read some of the content from the haters. And it's all about people just being just hateful. And honestly, I told somebody a long time ago, I'm almost 60. So I grew up where there was no social media. If you said something bad about somebody, you knew what was coming. There was going to be behind the building, and we're just going to sell it, and we over. And so it's so easy now for people to get behind a keyboard and just blast off without ever having to have accountability. And that leads me to my next thing: accountability. And you bring it up, but the thing is, we're not held accountable because you said you have your father in your life. I have grandsons now, so I totally understand where you're coming from, because I want my grandsons to be able to shoot, communicate, be effective, head on a swivel, understand their situational awareness. And these days we have people that when you walk in the airport, just scan the lane. Every male in the airport has his head down in his phone. And I say male, not women, because men are supposed to be situationally aware of what's happening around them.
Bro, it's fucking embarrassing. It's like actually fucking embarrassing to me. And the reason why it bothers me so much is because, again, so I had my father in my life, but I also didn't. And I explained this, and me and him have had a lot of talks about it. I'm not very close to my parents, but I've been trying to rekindle that relationship ever since I had my kid, because there's something instinctual in me. It's like it's calling me, even though my brain sometimes is like, no. And a lot of people won't understand that if you haven't had like, I don't like utilizing the terminology, so I'm not going to. I'll just say abusive, because I don't like the T word. I think it's overutilized. Like, I didn't go to the fucking army for 3 tours or fucking 4 decades, like you just said, so I shouldn't be able to use the word trauma in my mind. I think it's a fucking bullshit terminology nowadays, but that's a whole nother ramble. You guys gonna get me down? Long story short, when it comes down to my dad, even though we didn't have him every day, he was gone for months and months and months and months. There was things that I picked up subconsciously. Like when I walk with my wife, I walk on the side of the street. Now, I didn't realize why I did that, but that's just something that I did. There's certain things. Whenever there's individuals that are super rambunctious and stuff, I walk on the side that crosses the individuals. Like, she is my person that I protect in every situation. And
absolutely.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I feel like a lot of individuals nowadays demonize it. It's like if men lean into their masculinity and the fact that they are supposed to provide and protect, then they are deemed as a bad person or overly masculine, and it drags them down. And then, just to your point, there's no other men holding them accountable to what it means to be a fucking man. So we just have a bunch of soft people in this world that are walking around not doing what they need to be doing. where I think accountability is the necessity that needs to change in 2024. Because let's be real, no one is lacking knowledge. Everybody can go on fucking ChatGPT right now or Google, search up anything they want. Anything they want, bro. Like fitness, I train fitness coaches. It's what I do. I help fitness coaches grow and scale their businesses. And then I also help people with their mindset and their fitness. I'm a fitness coach, mindset coach, business coach. I do all of it. They don't fucking need a meal plan. You can go on ChatGPT right now, type in everything about your life, and bam, a plan will pop in front of your face. What they need is what you said, accountability. Even though my dad wasn't in my life every day, when he would show up, homie, we shut the fuck up real quick. Like we were held accountable to our words, to our actions, to what we needed to do. And it was ingrained in my soul. So it's like, I just operated at a different level. And right now you can see that it's lacking. Bedros said this one day. Bedros was actually our mentor for a year, Bedros Koulian. He said, it blows my mind how unaware individuals are in this world right now. Men and women. He's like, I was walking down a back alley, and he's like, I'm a big fucking boy. Bedros is around 6 feet. He's walking around 220, lean, shredded. And he's like, I'm looking at this woman, and she's sitting beside a telephone pole, just head in her phone. And he's like, I wanted to see how aware she was. So I just started stomping my feet and everything while I was walking towards her. Didn't look up once. To your point, no one pays attention. They just think that we're in this safe fucking place. When in reality, the reason why people need to be more aware is because the world is fucking violent, whether you want to believe it or not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we just look at, hey, Mike, you got anything, man? Where you over there?
Nah, man, I'm just listening to the information. You're right. Some men, let's they call it, lost their balls in society. You know, yeah, excuse my French, but it's true. But what is aggressive to being too much aggressive? That's the question.
And that's the thing that I feel like needs to be touched on, because people see masculinity as aggression. All right. And that's why we don't fuck with the term toxic masculinity. If toxic masculinity is a thing, then toxic femininity is a thing. It's not. Right. It's bullshit. It's fucking all fake. There's toxic people and then there's regular people. The thing is that you have a lot of these baby boy bitches who think that masculinity is violence. So they feel good enforcing violence on others because they don't feel good in their own skin. So what we need other men guiding men, teaching them about habits, rituals, core values, the laws of what it's like to be a powerful fucking man and what your duties are as protecting, providing, and guiding. Understanding, like, again, what's his name again? Jordan Peterson. That statement. Right. You need to learn how to be a monster and learn how to control it. Because if you're a monster and you can't control it, you're just a piece of shit and you need to be taken out back. But if you're a monster, you know how to control it, then that's what the world needs, because we have more protectors here.
Right, because I mean, when you're talking about control, and even the military, and I tell this all the time, a military teaches violence. It teaches controlled violence and at different levels, right? And collateral damage. And we have to be situationally aware of that. And I said, probably within our society, we have people that have emotional issues. They have lack of control of those emotional issues, and they take innocent lives. And everybody doesn't want to talk about that. And I said, well, the reason why is because you wanted this person to be in touch with their feelings. There are times as a man, you have to be in touch with your feelings. However, you have to be able to control your urges.
Yes.
And so that is always a struggle. So how long have you been boxing?
Dude, I've been boxing since 2015. So I originally got into it because when I was an iron worker before I became an entrepreneur in 2015, 2014 is when I was full into it. My hands got broken down. I got addicted to Percocets because no doctors would help us in Canada. I always make fun of Americans because they're like, yo, you guys got free healthcare. I'm like, dude, free healthcare might be a fucking dude outside of a building giving you a pill. Like, you have no idea what we're talking about. We're dealing with up here, doc. Like, not to mention you got to wait 17 hours to then look at your fucking foot. When you just go to the States, you pay $100, you Gucci in an hour, dog. Like, it's funny, bro. Like, it's funny. But yeah, my hands started breaking down. I started waking up like this. Like, I had chicken feet. My carpal tunnel developing, like destroying my body as an iron worker because I was just grunt work. Like, I work
blue
as
collar,
hard as I
man.
can in everything that I do. But went to the doctor. They wouldn't help me. So I found a solution myself, got addicted to Percocets, struggled for a long time. And then when I wanted to change my life around, I found boxing again. So I started boxing pretty much every day at a club in our own hometown while also training at the gym because fitness is the thing that saved my life. wanted to line up a fight. It never happened. And then in the last 8.5 months, one of my homies from Edmonton, which is just crazy because in the last like 6-year progression of this happening.
The Oilers.
Yeah, he moved down here from Edmonton. As soon as he landed, we started boxing. And then for around 5 months straight, we boxed every day, almost 2 hours a day. Trained for my first fight. I just whooped some kid's ass for my first amateur boxing match. I'm not even humble about it, dog. We killed it. We killed it. That was a good time. And we killed it. With first amateur boxing match, 1-0 now, and we're training for the next one too.
Yeah, but that's pursuing your dreams and having and aspirations. And I tell people all the time, fitness saves so many people's lives. Bro. If we would just get off the sofa. There's one guy on Instagram right now. I think he was like 308 pounds, Bro. And now he's down to 198. And he just showed, he showed his journey. I mean, I hurt my shoulder and knee, and I was at 236, and I had to battle back to get back to 218. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't easy. It's every morning. It's a grind. And so let me ask a question. How do you stay so motivated, man? And what's the driving force? You say you have your son, and I'm going to touch this real quick, but I'll let you talk. With my daughter, I said this one day. I said, I notice everyone, my daughters are like 30, 27, and 19. And I have some stepdaughters also. And I said, you guys were all feminists until you had sons. I said, you changed your attitude because you wanted your sons to have opportunity. I said, the thing is that it's about the next generation being good. And so as you see that in your life now, you're talking about your wife, you're talking about your son. How has that changed your whole dynamic and reflection since you've had him?
Yes and no. And this is something that I've been pretty open about. So when it first came to us having my son, I wanted a kid since I was young. Like I always thought about having kids. But then when it became real, I had a very intense, like overwhelming moment where me and my wife actually almost split. We were like 3 years into our relationship, and she basically gave me an ultimatum. Like, if you do not want kids, I'm leaving you. Like, I'm not playing this fucking game because you said you wanted them beforehand. I'm like, this alters our entire relationship if you don't want them now. So I had a weird, like, awakening moment 3-4 years in our relationship where I was like, okay, I do want them. I'm not going to be the violent individual from my past. I'm not going to be who I didn't want in my life, all right, that around me. But when I had him, it was like this weird turning moment where I'm grinding every day, obviously for him and for her, but also I'm grinding every day just so they have something to strive to be. And that's something that I tell a lot of people. It's not like my kid and Julia are the reasons why I wake up so fucking early and are the reasons why I work so hard and are the reasons why I do everything that I do. They're a part of it, but there's like a 50-50 hit that I always explain to people. And I'm very open about this. 50% of me wants to help the generation underneath me, wants to help my people, and wants to give back. Why? Because I felt helpless a lot as a kid. I felt lost. I felt broken. I felt alone. I felt like I was just going to be fucking hurt. And I literally used to say verbatim, I'm not going to live past the age of 25. And I used to say it all the fucking time, all the time. Now there's 50% of me that just wants to be famous. Now, not in the aspect of like, oh, I want to be red carpet, etc. 50% of me that wants to be remembered forever. And I know it's a very intense statement to say out loud, but like,
no, it's not.
It's like in my soul. Like when I watched the movie Troy and fucking Achilles looks at that kid and says, well, because you won't fight this guy, no one's going to remember your fucking name. That hit me in the soul. And I was like, I want to do something on this earth that makes me be remembered forever and to make sure that I can give back to everybody with my full fucking heart. So what keeps me motivated? Honestly, a couple things. Number one, it feels good knowing that I outwork everybody I fucking know. Like when I'm up at 3
absolutely.
Yeah, when I'm up at 3 a.m. and I'm done more by 3 a.m., by 8 a.m. than you've done the entire fucking day, that's a good feeling. And it's like, that's the cocky side and that's like the intense side, but it's the true side. And the other part is it's nice to give people something to strive for. That's why I'm always trying to chase the next version of me. I'm always trying to chase people that are ahead of me. And the fact that there's people in this world now that look up to me, that want to be me is a fucking cool feeling. So that's what motivates me more than anything else.
I mean, legacy matters, man. I mean, I tell my daughters all the time, And you know, you touch on the point about your dad. My biological dad and me have been kind of on and off estranged, and the reason why is he never, and his struggle with me is, and my struggle with him, and he doesn't understand, is that as a man, you have to be able to step up your responsibilities when you bring a child into the world.
Yeah.
And the men that have opted out of being able to be responsible for the children they bring in the world, I struggle with. Cats in the cradle, right? So now that there's no bill to be paid, there's no connection that I need to bring to the table. Let's be friends now. I struggle with our relationship because my thing is, you opted out for 18 years.
Yeah.
You took the get out of jail free card that my mom gave you, and it was a choice, accountability, right? Mm-hmm. And so then now that I see my grandsons and I see my granddaughters and I see my daughters, and I tell my daughters every day, Cole, this is no lie, man. I remind them, my goal is to have a legacy. And when you stand in front of that altar when I'm gone, and you have to speak my name, the only thing that can come out of your mouth is, my dad was a hard man, my dad was a driven man, but my dad was a good man. And I said, because that struggle I have is when you have to stand at the altar and everybody's looking at you and everybody knows the history of the individual that brought you to the world, and you go, now I got to find some words.
Yeah,
you don't want your kids to have to struggle to find the words, the words to articulate what kind of person you were. And I take it back to Saving Private Ryan. I mean, it always brings me to tears when I see that end of the movie, is when he looks at his wife, the one soldier they saved, and he goes, tell me I was a good man.
Yeah.
Power.
Fucking powerful, dude. And I think the sad thing is not a lot of individuals want to admit that shit nowadays. Like, not a lot of people, a lot of men, all right, we'll be specific, want to admit that. But like, let's be real, all right? I think it's a universal language that men don't speak. What do we crave? We crave respect and we crave admiration. We want to be told that we were good because that's what we fucking strive to be every single fucking day. And we want to be respected in every aspect. Now, obviously the money comes and the love comes and everything else is cool. But like, those things to me usually, and every man that I've fucked with and connected with on a deeper level, those are the things above all else. Like, the money comes and it's cool, and I've done well in my life and I've done a lot of cool things, but like, that stuff is above all else. Getting a text message knowing that I inspired someone or changed someone's life or altered the way that they thought is everything to me. My wife, knowing, she actually shared something in a boxing vlog that we did, all right, because we vlog everything all the time. It's all up on YouTube. When we did the boxing fight, there's a clip that she did at the end, and I didn't even know my videographer made everybody do this, but she said verbatim, and it was something that fucking broke me down because it's my entire goal. She was like, listen, I'm so happy because your son, Cade, his name is Cade Wolf DaSilva. Cade has the best role model that I could ever ask for, period, with him growing up. And that was everything. I'm like, as soon as I heard that, that's it. Like, that's the fucking goal, dude. It's to give people something to chase and strive to be, because again, the world needs good fucking men. And my goal every day is just to be that guy.
As I was saying before, man, it's just good to hear about motivation, boxing, and movie quotes and everything else. So question is, so you do motivational speaking as well. Do you do it in front of people? Do you have a schedule? Are you trying to push it further from where you're at now? Explain if you don't mind.
Yeah, dude, the goal is get on stages. So like, my thing is, I'm not good at asking. All right. And I've been very open about that. To give you guys a little background to kind of show you what was going on, I've been business partners and fucking basically brothers with my homie Brian Mark since 2016. He found me when I was overcoming my drug addiction and I was getting into fitness. I became his fitness client. We won 3 fitness competitions, first in overalls. I've always been like good at the shit that I choose to do because I go 110% in. It's that
love it.
It's like when I pick something, I'm addicted to it right away. And it's just like, that's my supplement to not going back to my old life. But ever since then, it was like, he was always the marketing guy. I was always the delivery guy, because I became his business partner in all the companies that we started over the last 8 years. And I was always been delivery, operations, back end. He's always been marketing. So when it came to asking, I'm not great at it. And it's something that people can see. For the last 2.5, 3 years of me growing my social medias, 1.8 million followers across all platforms, I have asked twice maybe to people to buy shit or put me on a platform.
I love it.
Like, let me come speak at their event. So my goal is to just be undeniable. Like, so like right now, I'm doing as many fucking podcasts as I can. I'm doing as many YouTube videos as I can. We throw our own events with our company. We've thrown 6 now. They've only gotten bigger. First one we did 40 people in person. The last one we did had 900 virtual and 150 live in person. In April, I'm actually flying down to our partners, a certification company in the depths of Australia. And I'm going to be doing a speech in front of 3,000 personal trainers and a bunch of people virtually. So the goal is give as much as I fucking can, so it becomes undeniable. I am on stage in front of thousands of people because that's what I want to do. I want to inspire the next generation, and I want to transform people's fucking lives in a very big way. As you can see, we're
love it. I love it. You know, and I tell people all the time, you know, as you go out and you're speaking and you're impacting people. I told somebody one day, I said, I don't care if I speak in front of 5 people or I speak in front of 5,000. My goal always is to touch one person. And I remember I spoke at this one event here in Tampa, and this one lady got done speaking, you know, called it, you know, today. And at the end, she came up to me and she started crying. She hadn't talked to a person in her life in 100 years, as she said. And after I got done talking, she picked the phone up to call that person. That person also was in the same boat of they haven't communicated. So the impact, right? It's about impact, and it's about presence of leaving that legacy. And the thing is, man, you're doing a great job at how you're getting after it. And you're going to have people that hate you. You're going to have people that are upset saying, oh my God, man, you know, he thinks he's all that. But here's the thing is, there is a point, and I tell people this all the time, you have to have a little bit of arrogance to be successful in life.
Of course.
So what advice would you give the next generation from your foxhole right now and the way you've lived your life so far? What advice would you give them?
So, few things. I've been ending off almost every stage presence, podcast, etc., with one piece of advice, and I'll give you that in a second. But I want to touch on what you just said because there's 2 things that I feel like you'll resonate very well. One of my mottos that I've taught the 5,000 students plus that we've helped is FOTO, F-O-T-O, focus on the one. The reason why I always say this is because a lot of individuals in this world, especially when they're trying to build businesses on social media or when they're trying to impact or when they're trying to change their own life, they're always focused on the masses because what does everybody talk about? 1 million followers, $1 million, million impacts, million everything, right? Where, don't get me wrong, it's dope. You get a video to go viral, it's a cool feeling. When you look at that bank account and it's full, it's a cool feeling. I've achieved all of it. But it's a better feeling when you get that one message when someone's like, Cole, because you've documented your sobriety journey, because my sobriety started with alcohol October 21st, 2021. I've been sober since then, no alcohol.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, brother. People saw that and they're like, dude, I haven't drank since that day because I just saw you do it, and there we go. So FOTO is the motto that I've embraced and taught everybody. Focus on the one, because that one impact, if you can impact one person a day, every day, the entire time you're on this earth, your impact is going to be fucking astronomically larger than if you focus on the 1 million views and the fucking comments and likes and everything else. So that's right? Number 2, going into that, you talked about hate. I actually lean into it, and I have another fucking thing that I teach all my clients that is called #HateMe. Because I'd rather you hate me for telling you the truth than you hating yourself because you can't look yourself in the mirror because you're avoiding it. So I'm going to say what you need to hear.
All right.
I'm going to say what you need to hear. I'm going to tell you what your mom should have told you. I'm going to say what your dad should have said to you when he wouldn't. So you can hate me, because I'd rather you hate me than hate who you fucking see in that mirror every single time you walk into your house. Feel me?
Feel you? No, I feel you, man. Because
Yeah.
I will tell you that is the single thing. I love my 19-year-old daughter to death because Tori has a tendency to remind me about fitness. So I remember I got out of shape a little bit, and one day she called me out and she said, "Hey, Dad, you got to be in the sexy dad category, not the dad bod category."
Yeah, bro.
I said, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, man." And so I was on my fitness kick, and me and my other daughter, Jasmine's trying to work to get into female bodybuilding. So she's like busting her butt going to the gym every day. And I'm just proud of her. But even if she succeeds or fails, I tell her I don't care. The fact that you're trying is 90% of the battle.
That leads me into the last piece of advice that I'll hit you with that you asked me right there, and that is messy action. This is what I tell everybody every day, no matter what. Guys, I grew up in a 600 square foot trailer All right, 45 minutes into the country in Thunder Bay, Ontario. I know to all the Americans, you guys are gonna be like, where the fuck is that? It's across the border from Detroit. I'll put it that way.
Woo!
Right? Ghetto shit. All right, ghetto shit. So, like, I moved probably 6 times, 6 different schools by the time I was 14. I've done everything from going to Hell's Angels houses to working on farms across the board. I went from that to making millions and transforming my life before the age of 30. And everything that I've done is through messy action. I've never known how to do anything. I'm not the smartest guy in the fucking room. I only graduated high school. I didn't go to college, university, none of that bullshit. I just picked a path. And I'm like, I have no fucking idea how I'm going to get there. But I'm just going to take extreme messy action. And every time I fuck up or fail, I'm just going to dust myself off and keep going.
Keep learning. Yeah.
That's it. Like, the reason why so many people are stuck is because they don't want to take messy action. They want to take perfect action. But I'm just going to do a million videos that suck ass and then keep going instead of trying to make the perfect one. I'm going to do a million reps that suck ass instead of trying to figure out the perfect form to get me there. Messy action is the key to all success. I build the parachute on the way down after I jump out of the plane. I don't check it 15 times while I'm in the fucking plane.
Right. Hey, dude, I've failed thousands of times in my life, and you know what? I just get up and say, okay, well, that didn't work.
100%. It's the only advice that I feel like is needed nowadays. Like, if people just saw where they wanted to go and was like, okay, let me just take one step today. Oh, you fell on your fucking face. Cool. Take another step tomorrow. Take another step tomorrow. Messy action. That's all these kids need.
But hey, man, I appreciate you coming on. Mike, you got anything before we step out, man?
Cool. Nice meeting you, my friend. It's been an adventure, a lot of information. Yo, check him out, man. He be fighting his YouTube right there. It's great. Yeah, it's pretty dope, man. And it's good meeting you, man. Keep it going. And I like the way it's true. Man, need to get this manhood back together, guys. Let's get this going, get the body in shape, and get the mind strong. Stay there, man. And good luck on your mission, man. For real.
Hell yeah, brother. Thank you. Good to meet you.
If somebody wants to get out and connect with you, where's the best way to do it? On your website, or is it on Instagram? What's the best way, Cole?
Yeah, so my website is primarily for coaching. So if an individual is struggling with fitness, mindset, or business, that's where you would go as my website. If you're just looking for the motivation, the inspiration, it's my Instagram, my TikTok, or my YouTube. So TikTok and Instagram is the exact same tag. YouTube is the same tag. I wanted to make it universal everywhere. It's my first, middle, last name. Primarily, we're going ham on YouTube right now. All right, Instagram's seen traction. TikTok's always growing. But YouTube has become my biggest passion because I produce very raw vlogs. I'm talking about like 30 to 45 minutes of just rawness. I'm not trying to do like the crazy cinematic or any clickbait or nothing. It's just me being me, talking about shit that matters. And
authentic.
That's it, man. Authenticity is the key.
Hey, everybody. So, hey, want to say Cole bless. Have a happy new year. Cole DaSilva, check him out, baby. Hey, we embrace it because we appreciate it. And with that being said, keep it. Yeah.